What's up, what's up, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Solar Streets. This episode, we have the talented Mr. Mason Dean. I mean, the brother got some fire. He got some fire, and he's killing these streets out here working, man. Welcome to the Solar Streets, my brother.
Man, thank you for having me. Thank you.
What you been up to? I know that Rooster is got everybody cock-a-doodle-doodle, like, what's going on?
I'm over here just trying to create as much as I can, just trying to keep on moving forward.
Yeah. I mean, I'm really enjoying that track. When I listened to it, I was like, "Yo, this is not just a a track that's nice. This track is really fire." So like when you finish that track, and I also listened to your project at ease, I could definitely hear the evolution from that project to your single. So I'm sure that was intentional. But what was that growth like coming from your project going into Rooster? Because that song is like you really ain't playing.
Yeah, I think when I was putting together at ease, I was trying to find my sound, really, and like making a transition from LA to New Jersey and
Okay.
hearing the difference, like just hearing the different music styles and going outside and partying with people and just living life. I think once I got to the Rooster point, it was I'm just happy. I'm just enjoying what I'm doing. And I love making music. And that was just kind of a song that grasped that feeling or just trying to show people I'm having a good time. Regardless
Right.
if you like the song or not, is at least you can hear that I'm having a good time.
Definitely. I mean, it's helping everybody out here have a good time. You know what I'm saying? So it definitely creates the vibe on the playlist. I get excited when that song come on because the production is fire. Who produced it?
That's me. I produced it
Oh,
too.
you produced the music.
Yeah.
Oh, you did the whole thing. You produced the whole at ease as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you do everything.
Yeah, I mean, I try my best, man. I'm still learning the mixing and engineering side of things, but I do record myself and I mix my songs down to myself. I'm still learning, but
That's
yeah,
okay. So you're from LA
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
and then you moved to Jersey.
Yeah.
So at ease was inspired from your time in LA.
Actually, these was inspired from my time in Jersey because when I started making at ease, I just moved to Jersey. So like
Okay.
I'm like experimenting with different sounds, which kind of sounds crazy because a lot of the songs on at ease have like the West Coast style to it. And I think what it was me kind of being like, even though I'm making this transition to a different city, like this is still the sound that this is all I heard in my life, like, growing,
Okay.
and I,
So speaking about the music that you've heard on your life, who were your how did you get started in music, and then who were some of your influences along the way?
man, yeah, that's a good question. Every time yeah, hold on, let me think.
Too many, right?
I know, yeah, I think, honestly, I started making music when I was 7. I used to take piano lessons as a kid.
7.
Yeah,
Damn.
yeah,
We
but
like
like
12 now? No, it's joking.
yeah. I started taking it more seriously, like really seriously when I was 14. But like one musician that always stood out to me, I'm gonna just say one, it was definitely Jimi Hendrix.
Mm,
And like my transition from going from playing classical music to making beats and stuff was Jimi Hendrix because like the freedom I heard when he was playing the guitar, he just sounded so free. And I'm like, man, he sounded like he having a good.
you don't hear that often. I don't hear that
Yeah,
at all on this show
yeah.
where I'm speaking. So do you consider yourself a rapper or you consider yourself a singer? Like how do you consider yourself vocally?
I'll say like I love rapping, I love singing, but I just put myself as a musician, man.
Okay.
Musician, because it does start with the music for me. Like I always say that I'm a producer first before I'm a songwriter, which is true. And so I would say that, yeah, definitely a musician is the lane I'm trying to go down.
No, that's dope. I mean, and that's not so much different, but it's just shocking because that's that. I didn't know that you produced that track as well. That even makes it even more fire
Oh
that
man,
you
I
produced the
appreciate
track.
it.
Like,
Oh,
how long did it take you to I mean, cause now I can actually have a music conversation with the because most
uh-huh.
times not
Yeah,
everyone is a part of the creation of the music. You know, they just do the melody and the vocals and stuff. But
yeah,
like, so what was your inspiration behind creating that track musically? Like, did you name like when did you get who's like you got the whole thing from the track to the lyrics to the melody like
yeah. Honestly, I made that song on accident. I made it on accident because I had just came back from a party. It was like right before 4th of July,
mm,
and I had just came back from like a function. I was a little lit, and I pulled out my laptop and I just started cooking just trying to cook this beat up. And the first thing that came into my mind was this hook. Like I wrote Rooster about 4 years ago actually, and
okay.
I never used the hook or the verses. Well, I rewrote the verse, but I never used the hook for any song. But I always knew I was like, this hook is gonna go for something one day, you know. And it ended up working for Rooster. Once I cooked up the beat and then I started singing the chorus to the song, I'm like, oh, this kind of go together like, perfectly, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
thank God, man, like that it worked out. Thank
Yeah,
God.
that was a great song to be introduced to your music by, you know, because like, especially
Thank
with the way the soundscape of where things is at right now musically,
you.
like it fits right in with
Uh,
like you know what I mean, like it's not it's like you could I can hear Thug on there, I can hear you know what I mean, I can that shit is fire.
yeah, I would love to get Thug on there.
Who's the artist on there already?
It was my boy, Rockstar Ham. He was on there. That was actually how it started. We both came back from the same party and we was just sitting in the studio and then I made the
Yeah,
beat.
like oh,
Yeah.
that's
I was like,
that.
I need you to get on here, bro. You got to get on this song. You know what I'm saying? And then he was sitting there and he had the microphone and I was playing engineer and then he
Okay,
put together his verse. And once he put together his verse, now we didn't damn near had the whole song at that point. So now it's like, all right, what are we gonna do with this now? Yeah,
so
we gotta
so
put
is this gonna be a part of a project or what are you working on?
man, I'm working on this other project now. It's called Birth of Slim. That I'm gonna probably put out this summer. And I think that the the Rooster song kind of set the tone for this project, you know, just sound wise, and production wise and the freedom of creating the song to itself. Like it kind of put me in a place where I'm I'm just experimenting with sounds and whatever works. As long as I'm happy and it sound good to me, then I'm gonna put it out, you know?
That's what's up. But I want to go back to Jimi Hendrix real quick because,
Yeah,
like I
yeah.
said, that's like very that's
Mm-hmm.
dope. First of all, shouts to Jimi Hendrix, rest in peace. You know
Hendrix.
what I'm saying? And definitely a major legend in music.
Yes, sir.
Like, how did you get introduced to Jimi Hendrix?
Uh, I was in a like when I was a kid, I was playing the keyboard in this like jazz band. I don't know.
Mhm.
Well, it was like a summer camp type of music camp situation, but then we started playing this song called Voodoo Child by Jimi Hendrix. And that was the first time I ever heard that song was like playing to it. So I'm like, man, just so you kind of get that feel of not only listening to the song, but playing along and like jamming to that song. And you have a band with you that you got the guitarist going crazy with the wah wah pedal. So that made me want to listen to like there's a live album of Jimi Hendrix at Woodstock. And I remember like I downloaded that album on my phone and I would listen to it every day. Like every song all the way through. It felt like I was actually there at Woodstock listening, like watching him perform. And he always like just style wise, swag wise, he was super cool, like a groovy dude. And the licks that he was playing on the guitar was just like what, you know.
Yeah,
And then to hear, you know, people say like, "Yo, my favorite guitarist, that's their favorite guitarist, is Jimi Hendrix." You know, like,
yeah. That's I'm like, what? That's
yeah,
like you don't ever hear like young cats talk about Jimi Hendrix. You know,
yeah,
and you're starting a conversation, introducing them to a whole new generation of
yeah,
people who should definitely listen to him. I'm gonna listen to him some more because
man,
I mean, even myself, like. I don't listen to him as much as I should, but if I'm gonna listen to him, maybe I'll be able to create a Rooster too.
Yeah, come on, watch, watch. You're gonna have a whole bunch of guitar solos in there too.
Do you play what all instruments do you play?
I play the piano, I play the keyboard, I play the guitar. I'm still learning the guitar a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Drums, I feel like just me being black, I just had that.
Got some rhythm, right?
I got something in there for me. And that's really about it. I feel like everybody in the world as a kid played the recorder. I don't really count that as an instrument that I would like say I'm really good at this instrument, but
Okay.
um, definitely I'll go more towards like the piano and keyboard side though. That's really where, yeah.
And performance wise, like what's a Mason Dean performance? Like I mean, Jimi Hendrix guitar, all that great stuff. Like, what is your stage presence like?
My stage presence, it changed while I've been living out here for sure. Like
Okay.
living on the East Coast kind of opened me up to what I really want to do on stage. And before it was just you, if you were coming to my show, it was gonna be me, a DJ, a hype man, and then me rapping. But it kind of changed to now it's live band.
Mm.
I might pull out the guitar and play with the band for a little bit, and just a whole bunch of different varieties of feels and moods. Well,
Okay.
because at the end of the day, when you're making music or you're writing music, you have that feeling where you can write a song when you're really down, and people listen to it and resonate with that. And I feel like if you're gonna give a performance to somebody, you have to kind of take them through that roller coaster of emotions. Other than just being like, I'm always happy all the time. I'm on a microphone and I'm always happy. Like, that's not human. I think that kind of giving a roller coaster of emotions and communicating through your music and having people kind of relate to that side of things, even if you don't make music, you can relate to, oh, this,
Hmm.
this is a sad song. This is a happy song. Like, this song makes me feel this way. This song makes him feel that way, or her feel this way. And I think that's the beauty of music and live performances too. So,
Get
um,
a chance to connect with the audience and
yeah,
really go deeper inside the feeling of the song and talk
yeah,
about it, explain. Yeah, I
because
definitely feel that.
at the end of the day, we all friends here. If I'm on stage and I'm performing in front of an audience, I don't see it as just like, oh, there's all these strangers are staring at me and doing all that.
Exactly.
I see it's like we all friends. Y'all came to hear some music. I came to perform some music for y'all. So like we on
I
the
want to have a good time. I want to make
yeah.
sure you have a good
Make
time.
sure you
Hey,
have a
my
good
name is
time.
Mason D. We
Yeah,
come to have a. I
yeah.
feel you.
It's
No, that's
just
what's
like
up.
that. All the nerves leave my system. Once I get that out the way, once I get that in my head, I'm like, all right, we here. Let's have a
Have you
good.
done any shows on the East Coast, so like big shows since you've been
Uh,
here?
I did a show a couple years back with DMC at Dreams Hotel, which was
Hmm.
really crazy because it was at this point it was like I forgot the number. It was the anniversary of hip hop though, and I got to open up.
Not the 50th
No, it wasn't the 50th. It was before the 50th.
before that one. Okay. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know because I don't remember all the numbers either, but I
Yeah, I
definitely
don't
remember
remember.
the 50th.
I remember 50 though. I remember 50. That's the last
I
one.
didn't even know hip hop had a number until they started saying
Yeah.
it was 50.
Until I saw 50, I'm like, well, the one I was performing at, they're like, it's a celebration of hip hop this many years. And I'm like, I don't know why I just forgot the number of years, but it was a celebration. I remember that we were
we,
celebrating.
we we made it to 50, so it don't
We
even
made it
matter.
50. That's all that mattered. That's all that
We made
mattered.
it to 50. Now we're gonna remember. I forgot 50. Are we? I don't even know what number we at now. I just know
I
we
don't
made it
even
to 50.
like 52 or something. I don't it gotta be.
It's for the other people to figure it out. They'll
Yeah,
let us know. They'll let us
they'll
know
let
when
us
it's
know.
time.
They'll let us know when it's 60. They'll let us know.
Facts.
Hmm.
So, Mason Dean, the artist. What do you want? What does that mean? The artist, Mason Dean. What
Yeah.
when the people hear Mason Dean, what you want people to take away from that whole energy?
I want people to I guess what yeah. I mean, I know how like I know what I'm trying to say, but I'm just trying to figure out how to say. I think that I would say Mason Dean the artist instead of Mason Dean the rapper is not trying to box myself in, when it comes to genres because music, I don't want to sit here and say that I'm a rapper because I don't always go to the studio and rap, and I don't always go to the studio and sing. Sometimes I do want to rap. Sometimes I'll get in the studio and make a song with no lyrics on it at all, like just me
Okay.
playing,
Just
playing,
vibing.
just vibing. So I want to say like, yeah, that's Mason Dean, the artist as a creative, somebody that's willing to just make something, create something, uh, with what I know, what my strengths are, and being
Hmm.
able to collaborate with other artists, is like a beautiful thing too. That's something that I love to do. But when it comes down to me, even if it's just cooking food, like an artist is beyond music itself. It's just art in itself. Cooking food, how are you gonna doctor the plate up? What,
Hmm.
what I
Hmm.
mean? Like, how are you if you're painting the picture? What's that picture look like? I don't paint and I don't really consider myself a chef.
You kind of do though. You
I do.
kind of
I paint in
you
my
paint
own way.
yeah, you paint with the
Yeah.
instruments. I mean you
Yeah.
are the, I mean, you
Mhm.
control your whole canvas. So it's like
Yeah.
we're hearing everything that we're listening to is created by you. So
Yeah.
you kind of are a painter, buddy.
Right. Right. Hey, I'm not going to turn it down. I would love to. I
No,
would.
I mean I didn't know you did. You really produced that track as well. I thought it was one of them YouTube joints.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
no, no. Hey, that's a compliment too. I'm glad. I
because them
picked up
YouTube
there with
joints be
that.
banging. Like,
Yeah, they do. They do. I still get a lot of ideas if I'm not, because a lot of my studio sessions are I got to go in there and then like make the beat from scratch and then
mhm.
write. So it's like two sessions in one. But a lot of times, I might just be like, I want to write something. I don't really want to go through that same process of cooking up a beat right now and trying to find this sound, and I just want to focus on the writing side of things. And I'll go on YouTube, I'll go on beatstars.com and I'll just find a beat, vocal tag in there and everything, and
Hmm.
just try to figure out, the pen, like what fits for this, like for
So
this beat.
this is a question for producer wise.
Yeah.
How do you, as a producer, and because so many artists are trying to find a producer.
Hmm.
Um, I'm sure you hear many stories of up and coming artists say, "I can't find no beats." Or, I mean, I shouldn't hear too many of those stories these days because
Yeah.
beats are everywhere. But with you being able to produce your own beats,
Hmm.
how do you feel about the state of production, the state of the producer today, with the beats being on YouTube and artists being able to rip them and record over them and make their songs and stuff? How do you feel about that whole um, movement as a producer?
I feel like uh I feel like now, honestly, I feel like producers have the hardest hustle now because you do have to, if you want to be heard as a producer, you do have to like go down that path of uploading beats every day, like a new beat every day on YouTube or on these websites. And the reason, like, kind of going back into what you're saying about, you know, songwriters finding producers, that's actually how I started getting into production too, was because I was playing the piano and I knew that I wanted to write music, but I couldn't find anybody. I was 13 years old, so trying to find like a serious producer when you have no music out, you don't have any content out, but you want to work with the best producers and people that have the content out or is doing everything. And that was hard for me. So that's why I started getting into production, because I was like, if I can't find somebody to make the beats for me or I could buy beats from, I'm just gonna learn how to do it myself.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the thing. But yeah, producers definitely have like it's hard now, man, because you do have YouTube converters where you can just download the MP3 right off of YouTube, and even if the vocal tag is in there, I know I've been in
They
studios.
don't care.
They don't care. They
They
don't
don't
care. They're
care.
gonna make it part of the song.
They're gonna write around that. It's gonna sound like
Yeah,
it's a part of the
it's
song.
all and I've been in studio sessions too, like where I watched the engineer uh like download a beat off of YouTube, and then the whole beat has the vocal tag all throughout the beat, but they will cut like the little part that doesn't have the vocal tag in there,
Hmm.
and then just loop that part throughout the beat so that there was no vocal tag in it. You know, some they people do some crazy stuff, but if you're on your publishing and you have your publishing right and your copyright situation right, then it's I you know
I was telling somebody that, the other day. I was like, because some of the producers online, just sometimes they be, not sending the exclusive rights, and they have all these different leasing contracts and stuff like that. So as long as you just keep your correspondence back and forth, and you should be good. Just
yeah
go out there. More importantly, just make something hot, and
yeah
and get it out there and push it, and see what happens. Because if it gets hot enough,
yeah
whoever produced it is going to let you know.
yeah they're
That
gonna let you know.
it,
They're gonna let you know exactly,
you
man.
know what I'm saying? So no, but that is really dope. So you started out as a songwriter first, and
Mhm.
then you found your way into production.
Yeah.
And so when did you find your voice as an artist?
I think once I started to actually like really started to, because I like I said earlier in the interview that I was I consider myself a producer first, just because taking piano lessons as a kid, uh that was always in the back of my head. Like that was always just in my arsenal of like production was there. I just didn't know that yet because
Mm-hmm.
one thing that I was passionate about and I wanted to move forward with was songwriting. So I think that once I started putting so much focus into production and being like, okay, I'm getting nice at this, and now I'm starting to write to these beats that I'm making. The more I would create beats and come up with different drum sequences, drum patterns, get new plugins. That's when I started to figure like, okay, I want to get better with my songwriting because it was kind of like my songwriting was here and then my production level was here and then it started going like that. And now my
Mm.
songwriting was down here and my production was getting better because I put so much focus into that. So it was like, all right, in order to get up to speed with my production, I need to just write more. And then in that process, uh, and then you start putting music out just to see, your family listens to it and they're like, man, this is dope. And then your friends start to hear it. And then it starts going beyond that. And that's when I'm like, okay, I want to like really go hard with this.
But when you started rapping or sometimes singing on tracks, like
Mhm.
when did you find that? Like when did you say, you know what, I want to tap into that as well? Like,
Yeah. Oh man, that wasn't until I say like probably 3 years ago. Cause I was only rapping for a cool minute. Like I was only, you know, bars. Like that was my thing for a cool minute. But I realized that the majority of the music that I was listening to was people singing like all the time. Even if they weren't singers, it was something about their voice or and for me personally, it's easier to write when I'm singing. Like if I'm rapping, because when you rapping, you gotta hit pockets. Like
mm-hmm.
gotta hit pockets. It's about how you say it. It's about how you deliver the bars. It's about what your bars are saying. What are you talking about? And all this stuff. With singing is more like I could drag out a word for a whole bar.
Right.
I mean, I could take my time with the singing, and I think the singing side of things kind of happened during COVID. Actually, that's really when it happened.
That COVID birthed a lot of new things, didn't
At COVID, yo,
it?
I was in COVID, and I and
COVID was a blessing for some
yeah,
of us,
it
wasn't
was
it?
it was man because like sitting there uh during COVID and like being in the studio every day because you can't really go nowhere else. Like I have my little home studio set up, and every day for like a month I was just rapping all the time, like rapping and rapping about what's going on. And I'm like, man, singing makes you happy. Like when you sing, you feel free enough to sing or just people hear you sing. That's like kind of what got me through that mental, struggle during COVID of being locked in the house all day. I was like, let me just sing or let me
So
try
do you
something else.
sing, or do you or like you do more the auto tune? Do you sing?
I Hey, I'm not no Whitney Houston, I'll tell you that.
Well, not too many people are.
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah,
but you know what I mean? Do
yeah,
you
yeah,
like
yeah,
like
yeah.
like
I
you?
yeah. I auto tune. I do. I use auto tune.
It
I'm
works
not.
either way. I'm not
Yeah.
judging, but
No, no,
I'm just
I don't
I'm
have.
just curious because, like, like the Drakes and the all the melodic hip hop artists that we have. It's always I always wonder, like, when the auto tune is not there, like, 'cause they be doing so, the
Yeah.
melodies is like they're like the new singers. Like, you guys are like the new singers now, because the
Yeah.
singers who can really sing. It's like we don't want to hear
Hmm.
all that talent. Sometimes it seems like it's like it gets, unfortunately, like it's no balance like it used to be, or but with artists like yourself, you're able to bring those melodies back,
Hmm.
so, and if you can sing like that without the auto, I'm sure it's a blessing. So I'm just curious
Yeah.
if you could or not.
Well, for me, like when it comes to my songs and the songs that I'm singing on, I I sing them the way that I do. So like when it comes down to doing live performances or something like that, and I don't have auto tune with me and I don't have all my vocal plugins with me, I can still sing it, you know.
Got you.
But I
Got
wouldn't
you.
say that like I'm like a like top tier singer, and like even going on what you said, uh, I think that I feel like a lot of people that do sing or do those songs, like T-Pain, for example, like
Hmm.
we know that T-Pain could sing. Like that's it.
And
Like
to be, I didn't know he could. I didn't
I didn't
know
know that
if he
either. I
could
had no
until
idea. I had no idea. Like it's like we know, but now we know that he could sing, and he was using auto tune as like an instrument rather than like, oh, I can't sing. I got to use this to do this. And I feel like he did that on purpose, and artists do that on purpose now because it's easy to sing to. If you like, if you can't sing and you hear somebody doing like just these just minimal melodies, like it's melodies where I'm not really taking too much out of my body I'm not like belting out on the microphone like I'm singing my ass off, but
you don't gotta be having lemon tea all the
yeah,
time.
yeah, it's easy. Like you could hum it, you could mumble the words, you could just mumble the melody, and I feel like that's right now that's what's like resonating with people is just being able to, even if you don't remember the words, like you can still just
The
remember,
melodies.
you know?
Yeah.
And and now like a lot of people's attention spans are shorter now, like so songs then went from being 4 minutes long to now they're only 2 minutes and 30 seconds long.
One minute and 40 seconds.
Yeah,
Some songs
1 minute.
like
Yeah,
they be getting it in. Like I
yeah.
be
You got that 1 minute to
like,
just
it's like back in the
yeah,
old days when the songs
yeah,
were like 2 minutes and stuff. I was like, what is going
yeah,
on? Like, you
yeah.
don't got you could. I'd love to go in the studio with you. You could do
Yeah.
20. You could do a whole album in 3 hours.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's if that's the case, because that was the thing too. Like, yo, back in the day, it was like interludes was like 2 minutes and 30 seconds long, 2 minutes long interlude. You know what I mean? But now it's just everything is shortened down, and now you gotta beat switch. Now you gotta change the beat up, and you gotta do all these remixes and all that stuff, which is fine by me. Like I just know that in them 2 minutes, I gotta do something. If I
Right.
get your attention for 2 minutes, then I gotta do something in these 2 minutes to
So, with you being a producer, the songwriter, the arranger,
Mhm.
and like, how do you see yourself um adding to what's already out there? Like, you know what I mean? Like, because you can change it. Like, at the end of the day, because melody, arrangement, production. Like, you have the power to take us on a whatever journey you choose to. Like, so
Mhm.
how do you choose what journey to take us on when
Mm.
you get in that space?
Uh, I kind of think about it like if
Because it's different, because it's like
yeah,
most people are directed by the beat. You know what I'm saying? But when you
yeah,
making the beat, it's like you directed by what source?
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because you getting it from everything. Like,
Mhm. Uh, I would say, I mean, I watch a lot of movies, man. Like I watch a lot of movies, so every time I'm thinking about uh like putting together a project, beginning to
mm-hmm.
end, I always think about the visual aspect of it, of like, all right, if this is the first time, because the goal is to, somebody starts playing your album from track one just to listen to it all the way through. Like that's the goal. So
That's
it's
a beauty. That's a
uh,
blessing when you can do
that's
that.
a
Oh my
blessing,
god.
man.
Oh
And
my god.
that's like that's how you know you got something really good. And that's how you know you're taking somebody on a trip. And it's kind of like if you're like picking up one of your friends and then you pull up in the car, you like hop in. They're like, "Where are we going?" I'll be like, "Yo, just don't worry about it." And then you just go on this long drive through all this, just do a whole bunch of stuff. I always think about it visually. Like I always
Hmm.
think about where am I at? All right, this is the beginning of the album or this is the beginning of the project. What does it look like? Where am I standing? Is it bright outside? Is it dark? Is it what is the first thought of or the environment that I want to see people listening to this song in? Or how do I see myself approaching this? Where am I at? Like what's going on in my life? What is the character that I'm playing on this project? And then once you get to that first song, uh, then the rest of the all the other songs, all the other music that you're working on, it just kind of it falls into place over time, you know.
Okay.
But I always think about it that way. I always think about it as like, you know, what is what does the environment look like? What do I put, you know, birds chirping in the background? Do I put water waves right here? Do I want to really show people the visual of like what I'm seeing? Or if it's not just the song itself giving that
Hmm.
vibe off, like do I gotta put, you know, outside sounds, do some sound designing and throw a telephone
This
right.
is music talk, everybody. This is
Yeah,
real
yeah,
music talk.
yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah, yeah,
It's beyond the
yeah.
melody, beyond the
Mhm.
voice. We talking about the actual getting into the meat of the
Yeah,
actual production, man.
yeah.
That's
Because
what's up.
that's what it is right there. It's letting people know that, you know, uh, I'm taking you on a journey. This is my journey. You know what I mean? This is the journey that I want you to come with me on. Instead of
Hmm.
it being like, here's just a collection of songs that I've been working on for the past 4 months or whatever the case may be. It's like, nah, I got your attention now from beginning to end. I want you to come on this journey with me. And
Dope,
then,
dope.
I mean, that's how I always saw it that way.
No, that's
Mhm.
dope. So I have a question. As a producer, who's your top artist to produce for outside of yourself?
Right now
Got
it's
three questions for you like that. But I
yeah,
want to start off with production.
yeah.
But who's your top artist to work with as a producer?
Right now I would say Cleo Soul. I love Cleo Soul's music because her music is just very calming. It's very peaceful. I feel like I'm at this that point in my life right now where, you know, I want to work more with live instruments. I want to work more with just the neo soul vibe
Mm-hmm.
uh instead of sitting here at the computer all day. You know, I want to actually be with musicians and come up with an arrangement together rather than just kind of sitting on my laptop and using, you know, the computer sounds and stuff
You want
like
to
that.
get back to the nitty gritty of it.
Yeah, yeah,
Somebody who can understand
yeah,
chord changes and all that.
yeah. Let's get a
Okay.
beat section right here. We can throw the, you know, bring the hook. Let's bring the pre-chorus in right here. Let's put a little breakdown right here. Like that's what I love. Building arrangements. That's always my favorite songs to make too. The songs that have like full arrangements that are like,
Okay.
you know, you can't really predict what the next turn is gonna be. You know,
Do you have a favorite song of all time?
my favorite song of all time. Yeah, I do. Uh, it's a song called "Lotus Blossom" by Michael Franks.
Mm.
That's my favorite song of all time.
Your artist choices are just different and unique. Like you don't hear none of these people being
Yeah,
mentioned at all, but they
yeah.
should be. But they will
Oh yeah,
start.
yeah. That dude is a man. That guy's goat right there. Like he, and that's like he was probably the listening to his album. I don't even know when it came out. I don't even know what the album is called, but the song is on this album, and the whole album felt like I was in his world. Like
Okay.
that's why I kind of loved it. It took its time. Like it was a lot of like just how the arrangements were. It was we're gonna slow down right here, then we're gonna let the beat drop right here, and you know, so I think that's my favorite song of all the time, "Lotus Blossom" by Michael Franks, for sure,
Nice, nice.
for sure.
And as a songwriter, I guess maybe Cleo Soul is the answer to this one too. Who would you want to write for
Who would I want to write for?
or collab with as a songwriter?
Uh, hey, I'm trying to think because I'm like, there's artists that I really I really do love, but there's a lot of writers that I want to write with. Man, okay. There's this writer or this artist. His name is FKJ. I would really want to just be in the studio with him one time and just kind of figure out because his music is insane. Like I don't even know how he be thinking about all the stuff that he plays. Like
Hmm.
all he play like every instrument too, but I don't
I
know.
gotta look him up. I'm not familiar with that
Fire,
one.
man.
FKJ, FK.
FKJ, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Hmm.
let's see. It was one, and then you rap. So who would you want to go back and forth with in the studio with as a rapper? Who would inspire a dope barring session?
I'm gonna say definitely Kendrick. Kendrick being from LA, I gotta go with Kendrick. But somebody, I gotta pick somebody else though too.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, I mean
Is that
Kendrick is
is
like,
that? I mean, listen. We listen. The
yeah.
Eagles fly together, right? So you gotta go. You gotta reach for the top. If that's where you're going, that's where you're going.
The reason why I say him is it's not directly because of his songwriting abilities and just the way that he hears music. I think just I don't know him. Obviously, I never met him in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know him as a person, but I think that the vibes that he gives off as a person, as a black man, is somebody that I would want to like be around. That would inspire me beyond music. Like as far as morals go, if I have a family one day, that's somebody that I would want to like be able to call up, be like, "Yo, Kendrick, I'm having a baby, bro. What do I do?" And then I feel
Yeah,
like if he's
he
like,
definitely seems like the brother that will give you
yeah,
sound advice and not
yeah,
just
and not
the
just
the bullshit that we see
yeah,
and don't
exactly,
necessarily want to do.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. And like it seemed like that's
He cares about us. He care.
I
He
don't
care. He cares about us. He cares
yeah,
about
he does
because he
care
cares
about
about himself. So
yeah,
you can see that through the way he creates
mhm,
music. Like he does it with a purpose. That's dope.
yeah, definitely. I think that's the main thing. Like I said, I don't know him as a person. I don't know he like behind closed doors, but from listening to his music since I was 11 years old,
Mm-hmm.
hearing the artist growth from you know the Good Kid, Mad City project all the way up to
You
uh
was 11 when that album came
yeah,
out.
I was probably no, I was 11 when Overly Dedicated came out, and then
Oh,
Section
okay,
80 came
okay.
out. I think I just went to high school. I went to middle school or high school when his second album came out. But by the time Good Kid, Mad City came out, I was in like my first or second year of high school or something like that.
Oh, okay.
So kind of growing with that and like knowing him because I
I,
listened.
I was in a senior citizens home by the time that was.
Yo, I'm telling you, that was a great time, man. That was a great time, man. That was a great time in life. Like I always go back to that, and it was always like listening to his music. It was like everybody else is dropping music that we love to listen to, dropping these songs that's getting played in the clubs, and it's like everybody. But then when you listen to his music, it was like a separate.
So
It was soul. It was like, yeah, this is you by yourself. Like everybody else's music was what you listen to when you at the club or you in the parties or you driving in the car. But when you driving back from the clubs, you put on some Kendrick and just vibe out to
he definitely is a vibe. Definitely is a vibe.
yeah,
So what do I gotta ask you that you mentioned Kendrick?
yeah.
What do you think about the whole beef thing with Drake? Like, how did you even care about it? Did you?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I definitely cared. I was see, I at the end of the day, I don't like the whole politics now of like you got to pick one or the other now because they both goats to me. Like
Right.
those are both legends. When it comes down to hip hop, I know that they always say Drake didn't write all his music. A lot of rappers didn't write a lot of the music. A lot of musicians didn't write a lot of their music in general, and
Just to be a part of this,
yeah,
to be in the system, to be able
yeah,
to be heard. Whatever gift you have is
yeah,
special. You know what I'm saying? Like it's always the
that's
people that don't got nothing to do with anything
yeah.
making these complaints and making it a big thing. That's what they special at, causing a bunch of bullshit.
And that's my thing too, bro. Because it's like, even if you were to say, Drake doesn't write his music, uh, even his whole team, like there's millions of artists out here with teams, but they just happen to be the ones that's just hit it
Yeah,
right on the head every time. So even if you're not gonna give him his credit, to give his team their credit, because they hit it on the head. They've been hitting it on the head every time for the past 15 years. And
that's not easy to do
that's not at all.
consistently.
It's hard for people to hit it on the head once.
It's
Imagine hitting it on the head like multiple times, like 15 summers in a row.
That's crazy.
You know,
On a major on a major scale, like shutting
yeah,
down,
major skill.
shutting and with him not even being from America, it's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
he just turned the whole
yeah,
music game. He just
yeah.
switched it all up.
He flipped it, bro. And
But thank God Kendrick brought it back to America. You know,
yeah, Kendrick brought it back to Cali. That's what
But,
he
you know he
did.
brought. But I mean Cali, of course, but America, he
Nah, he
brought
did
it.
bring everybody back to it. Yeah, he
You know
did.
what I'm saying? Because it's like, because at the end of the day, it was gonna be nothing but it wasn't gonna be no American artists that we
Yeah,
could support.
true, true,
You
true.
know, so outside of the talent, we got talent here too, like yourself. You know what I mean? So and we need platforms to
Yeah,
for those artists to be for you all to be heard. So
yeah,
everybody can't be from different countries getting played in America, and then our own artists don't have no platforms to be heard. Then it's like
yeah, true,
niggas
true.
gonna get mad.
Yeah, people gonna have to throw a fit.
And
That,
I
yeah.
think that's a little bit what was happening.
Yeah, yeah, I feel it. I feel it. I just know, like, if you ask me who won between them two, Kendrick did.
Yeah,
Or I think that, but nobody really lost two at the same time. I don't really understand the lawsuit stuff. Once the lawsuit thing started coming in, I was just like,
it's
all right,
getting crazy.
it's already over with.
It's deeper than rap.
Now it's deeper than rap, and I was only here for the rap. So now it's getting deeper. Let me get out of here.
Yeah, now they talking about bots and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah,
It's
like
just too
and
much
that's the
stuff
thing
going on.
about that too, is like everybody got, like, I'm not saying that every artist is like paying for bots, but I be having bots on my Instagram just in general. I'm not paying for no bots. It's just, I think that the bots are just out there. I think the bots are out there
They
to,
find you.
they find you every time.
Hey,
It's
if
not
you
even like
hot, they got the
you don't
bots
want to
gonna
control
find you. The
bots.
fans is gonna find you.
They gonna find you, like, these bots, because they know, like, I don't know what they trying to sell. If they trying to scam or whatever the reasoning for bots are, I don't know, and I don't really care. But at the same time, I don't believe that neither one of them need to pay for bots. I think that they already are so, like, everybody knows them everywhere around the world, and everybody knows them as being two of the best of what they do in the
Facts.
world. So I don't think that, this whole bot conversation that's going on, or what they're talking about, I don't think that's true.
And it comes up with a lot of different artists at different times. You remember? I don't know if you
Yeah.
remember that time when they were saying Diddy was buying fake Twitter followers, and they had the app where you could see all the fake, the real ones, the real followers, and the fake followers.
Yeah,
It's, you know, back in the day when they was doing that. So at the
mhm.
end of the day, I just say you just follow your goals, follow your dreams, and a boss will follow as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They
You
will
know
be.
what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day,
Yeah, it's
if
gonna
I
happen.
gotta have a few bots to be to be successful,
Yeah,
and I don't know about it,
yeah, yeah.
then no harm, no foul.
That's how you know you made it, though. You got some bots on your page. That's how you know you made it. you know.
Hey, that's a new project. You make a song about bots and
Yeah,
how
I'll
much
do it. I'll do it.
how much we appreciate bots. Whatever you all do for the culture, you know what I'm saying? Y'all being mentioned, so something's
Yeah,
happening, and we appreciate it and continue to uplift our
yeah.
pages and everything that you got going on.
Appreciate y'all, bots. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank you for holding this up.
Yo, this has been a dope conversation. Definitely appreciate you being on the show.
Thank you
Do
for
you have
having.
any visuals coming for Rooster?
Not for Rooster, but I have
You
a
gotta do a visual for
I
Rooster.
know that's what everybody been telling me.
Are you not? You can't not do a visual for Rooster.
I'm gonna work it out. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. My
You
man,
did the beat. You did the beat. You did the melody. You got your boy on it. What's his
yeah,
name again?
Rockstar, huh?
Rockstar Harm. HARM.
HAM. Rockstar RO, just spell like Rockstar and then HAM, like ham with ham.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to text me that. I ain't gonna remember.
I got you. I got you. I got you.
I forget. I forgot already. But I want to tag him because this part is definitely appreciated on the song. So
Oh
shout out
yeah.
to you, Rockstar. You did your thing on that track. And yo, man, I look forward to supporting you. Continue to support you here on my platform, Solar Streets, and you're doing an amazing job. I didn't know you was the producer of the music as well, so I mean that's even more to celebrate.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
stay inspired and continue to bless us with the music, man.
I will, brother. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for showing so much love too on.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Shout out to your team and everybody for for this allowing this to happen. 'Cause I know you got a lot of stuff going on, so just to be able to pick to talk about it, it's always a blessing. So
Yes,
you
sir.
know,
Yes,
it's always
sir.
a blessing. How can the people find you on social media?
You can find me on Instagram. It's Mason Dean with a zero instead of a O in the Mason part, and then everywhere else it's just Mason Dean. Apple Music,
Okay,
Spotify, Pandora, everything else just Mason Dean.
that's what's up. That's what's
Yeah.
up.
Yes.
Until next time, my brother.
Till
I
next
hope
time.
continue, but I'll be supporting any shows coming up.
We still working on those right now. We have
Okay.
some stuff coming up soon though.
Yo, well, I'll definitely be supporting and stay safe out here.
Thank you, brother.
All
Thank
right.